today. Thank you so much. Fantastic meeting to set up the affiliation with the Iowa Conference. I'm going to turn it over to the KJCCC Commissioner, Mr. Bryce Roderick.
Thanks, Mark. It's an exciting time for the Jayhawk Conference. I think we can also say it's an historic time. And we enter into this alliance or affiliation with the Iowa Community Colleges, again, looking forward to what it brings to our conference. I think we also can be selfish to say that we look forward to what it brings to the sport of football, because it puts 11 community college football programs really in some real solid footing. And again, as Tom and I visited about this some time ago, started talking about this, kind of relied on our past association with the Texas Community Colleges, the Texas Conference, and our affiliation with them. And it just made sense that we could take three football colleges in Iowa and put it together with the Jayhawk Conference and give our student athletes and our coaches a chance to compete not at the highest level, but to have a full schedule. As you know, in the past we've had playoffs and 4 of our teams got left out. And so this gives them a chance, their student athletes and their coaches, to play a complete schedule. So we're excited about that. I think we have a schedule to hand out to everybody else. That was part of the day's activities. And so we're excited about moving forward, and we'll do so. I'd like to now introduce the Commissioner of the Iowa Community Colleges. Well, first off, let me say that up here at the front is the President of the Jayhawk Conference, President Clayton Tatro of Fort Scott Community College, and we appreciate President Tatro being here and being part of this, and also President Dan Kinney of Iowa Western Community College. And President Kinney, appreciate you being here. And so I'd like to introduce the Commissioner of the Iowa Community College Conference, Tom McDonald, to say a few words. Tom.
Dr. Tatro, Dr. Kinney, and Bryce, thank you for everything. I knew this was going to be a great partnership from dealing with Bryce and working Randy Stang and others, even when we had Butler in our national championship last year, just the kind of cooperation and ease that we worked together. The one that really got me was when we're in the meeting downstairs working on schedule, and when Nick and I, our sports information director in our conference, we're sitting back and go, oh, we should just pull this out of a hat. This would have been so much easier. And then all of a sudden, I sat back and started watching how all the different schools had to talk to each other and how they had to work together and solve those scheduling problems. And all of a sudden, at the very end, it came down to 3 schools trying to figure out, and all of a sudden, boom, done, and we're out of there. So the kind of cooperation that was taking place, I think, is a great first step for the conference or for this affiliation. Ours, in the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference in Region 11, it all really started with our presidents, Dr. Kinney at Iowa Western, Dr. Kinney at Iowa Central, and Dr. Drury at Iowa Valley or Ellsworth. So what I'm going to do is turn it over to Dr. Kinney to talk about it from the perspective of our presidents, but this is a great opportunity for our 3 really strong football programs, the history of both Kansas and Iowa. It's going to be a great partnership. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kinney to say a few words, and we are very excited and look forward to this partnership. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Well, it's a pleasure to be here to represent the other 2 presidents of Iowa Community Colleges. A little history. We've been a part of the Midwest Football Conference for many years in Iowa. We had 5 institutions from Illinois, 1 from Michigan, and the 3 from Iowa that were made up the Midwest Football Conference. And over the past about 3 years, we've had all but 2 of the other schools drop football. The schools in Chicago and in Grand Rapids in Michigan. And so it was pretty shaky going forward, to be able to make up a schedule, and I think our head coaches can testify to the fact that that's not the easiest thing to do when you only have 4 games or 5 games that are certain in your schedule. It's a lot of open dates. And so, you know, the other thing that we looked at is that the Jayhawk Conference has a rich tradition, a rich history of athletic success. And so the opportunity to develop a scheduling agreement with the Jayhawk Conference so that our 3 Iowa colleges can participate and play against the members of the Jayhawk Conference was our priority. And in fact, the other 2 schools, the one in North Dakota, the one that still remains in Chicago, perhaps were a little bit shaky. And so working out some arrangement with them to bring others into the Midwest Football Conference was probably not the most realistic expectation. And so we're really excited about the fact that we're going to be able to play with a conference that has such a rich tradition as the Jayhawk Conference. And we look forward to it being a long relationship. And certainly it will be great for our student athletes to be able to have this level of competition as we go forward. So that's our perspective of the precedents from Iowa. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Kinney. One thing that I think maybe some of our people will ask, what about the Jayhawk Conference Championship? Again, I want to point out that this is a scheduling agreement, a scheduling partnership. The Jayhawk Conference will still crown a conference champion. That champion will be the team that wins the most games against the other Jayhawk Conference teams. We'll still have an all-conference team. Again, they'll come from those teams that make up the Jayhawk Conference. So even though this is just a scheduling agreement, even though we're going into this in a 2-year agreement, we think that this thing is going to really come together, and it'll be a long-term arrangement that we'll all enter into, and again, appreciate the affiliation and everything else. So unless anybody else wants to add anything, that'd be all for the opening remarks. And if anybody has any questions of any of the 4 of us, we'd be glad to answer any questions. Not seeing any, we'll close out this part of the conference meeting and or the meeting and press conference, and we'll move forward with the schedule that was put together by the athletic directors this morning and move forward. So thanks again for everybody for attending, all their hard work. Appreciate the effort made by Tom, Dr. Kinney, all the people from Iowa Central and Ellsworth for coming down and being a part of this meeting. So thank you all very much. Thanks.